Brock, how's it going today, buddy?
Oh man, it's going great.
Awesome, man. Everything going all right with your classes and whatnot?
You saw for yourself, man. I rocked it. It was very good, very good.
Yeah, I want to thank you for letting me observe your class yesterday on the two-step equations.
No problem.
And how do you think the lesson went?
Pretty good. Most of my kids were engaged and paying attention, and I was able to give them the lesson, and they appreciate it. I have some really good kids this year.
Okay. You said you rocked it, but then you said most of the kids were paying attention. What do you mean by
Well,
most kids?
All classes you have some of those kids that they're really not there for learning. So I don't really focus on them. I focus on the kids who are paying attention, doing homework, and are trying. I got some kids that they come habitually, every now and again. Parents can't get in contact with the parents or anything. So those kids really they don't count. I understand they're here. We have to have our attendance and everything, but no, I focus on the kids that want to learn.
Hmm. And I'm definitely glad you have students in your classrooms that want to learn and whatnot. But let's think about the students that aren't paying attention or whatnot. During this class, I saw a student in the back with his head down, and you never made an approach to him to see if he would pay attention.
Well, I could spend some time trying to see if he'll pay attention, and I guess for lack of a better word, rob the other students of getting this great lesson. Or I can say, you know what, he's not really disturbing the kids, so and he obviously, he's not into it, so let's put it like this: I'm not the only class that kid's failing.
Hmm. Well, let's think about it this way. What's a hobby? What's something you like to do in your life?
I bowl a little bit, yeah.
I remember we went bowling 2 weeks ago with the math department. Wasn't that fun?
Oh yeah, it was great, wonderful.
And what was it? What did you bowl that day?
That day I bowled a 175. It's been a while since I bowled.
175. And in bowling, what do you have? 10 frames, I believe it was?
Yes, 10
Yeah.
frames.
And what would be your perfect frame?
A perfect frame is obviously a strike, knocking all 10 down.
And so you have 10 pins in one frame, right?
Yeah.
And a strike, how many goes is that?
Your first time bowling on that frame, you knock all 10 down.
You knock all 10 down. Now, you said you bowled a 175, right?
Right.
Now, what's the perfect game?
Perfect game is 13 strikes, which is a 300.
A 300. So that means in every frame, you knock every single pin down.
Yeah, in the 10th frame, you knock three, you knock 30 pins down.
But you said you bowled a 175, right?
Right.
So were you able to knock every pin down every frame?
No, you got to have open frames to bowl
Okay.
a 175.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you have an open frame, what does that mean?
That means you had 2 tries and not all the pins went down.
Okay. And how did you feel when all the pins didn't get knocked down?
Sometimes I was upset, sometimes it was more like, okay, I have to adjust on this frame, on this side, the oils might not be right or whatever, but
And then if you did have a strike, how did you feel?
great, of course. High five,
Yeah, I remember Susanna, she almost bowled a 300. What was it, a 275?
Right.
And when she bowled a 275, did she hit every pin on the first try?
No.
No, but when she came back for the spare, was she able to pick up the loose pieces and knock?
Right. I don't think Susanna had an open frame in her
Right.
275. Yeah.
And so let's look back at the class yesterday. Would you consider that class a strike, or maybe a spare, or an open frame?
Let's see, if you're relating it to all the kids, then of course it's not a strike. But if you aren't and just relating it to the kids that really want to learn, then yeah, it'd be a strike, I think.
Okay, but remember we mentioned you had the student in the back with his head down, and if I recall, there were 2 girls over here who just kept texting away and weren't necessarily paying attention to the lesson. And you're saying it was a strike, so in an ideal situation, if it was a strike, wouldn't you hit every single pin?
Yes.
And so if this class was a strike, did you hit every single student? Did every single student learn from that lesson?
Well, no, I don't. No, you might have some kids, like I said, who don't want to learn, that are in my class, that.
Okay. Now, what can we do to possibly get to those
Oh.
pens.
I got it. Take them out of my class.
Take them out of your class, you know. But in education, that's something we can't do.
Well, Amory, I'm gonna tell you, I've tried contacting the parents, you know, I've tried one-on-one talking to them, I send them out of my class to talk to the APs constantly, now it's just a matter of, should I just control them so that they're not infecting the other kids.
Now, this is Algebra 1, right?
Yes.
And if we leave those pens up, and we think about this as a bowling game, and each year these students are pens in the classroom and they're always standing up, at the end, if we never knock those pens down, are they ever going to be successful at mathematics?
No, they wouldn't.
And would you consider Algebra 1 kind of like the starting point of high school? And if they're a standing pen and they never catch on to this mathematics, and they never get knocked down and never say, man, I've got it, what are we doing to the student?
Well, yeah, but you also got to understand that I can't make them learn the math.
Now, there are possibly different ways to possibly engage those students, because you like bowling, right?
Yes.
What is the other students like? Is there a way to relate the classroom into something like bowling, or if they like video games or movies? Fast and Furious just came out, and I've seen tons of students going out there. Is there a possible different way that we can engage these students in the classroom to where so-and-so doesn't want to put his head down, or maybe they want to put their cell phones down and be part of that lesson, and then in the end, you might have that perfect classroom knocking every single pin down.
Well, that's a thought. I can actually, try to send out a survey. I've been working with these new technology ideas in the classroom. Maybe get a survey, see what the kids like, and maybe use that as a theme or motif for my lesson.
That's great. I mean, surveys would be a great way to possibly see what these students can be engaged in, and maybe you can reel them in, and then next time when I come into your classroom, you're bowling that strike that you say that you've got, man. Because I've seen you bowl, and you had that 175, but I've seen you in the 250s. Just like Susan got that 275, and I really think you've got the capabilities of getting there, because you're teaching the lessons just like you said. You're contacting the parents. You're doing a lot of the things that a lot of other teachers aren't doing. But I think in this classroom we can definitely get to every one of those students because of their pens and knock those pens down and get that strike. How do you feel about that?
Well, Amory, you definitely gave me some things to think about, and I never really tried to connect in that way with the kids, hey, I'm willing to give it a try.
Hey, and that's great. I mean, you just giving it a try is one step further to getting that strike. So I want to thank you, Rock.
All right, no problem.
We'll check you next time, buddy.
Okay.